Welcome everyone back to Minecraft, and today we've got a tutorial on crop farms and villages, or basically a crop farm powered by villages. And you don't need any redstone to build this thing, unless you're going to be maybe using rails with redstone torches or something, which we'll get to in a second. Because I had somebody that asked me, okay, what's the easiest farm to build to automate crops? So with this, you don't need any funny redstone stuff. So the villagers do everything for you. And it's, well, very easy to do. And it's stackable. So you can see, you can stack it up using potatoes and carrots in these farms because it's the easiest thing to do. So the only prep work you need to do is collect resources, and you can use any blocks. Except obviously you have to have dirt. But you don't have to use the glass or the cobblestone here. You can use any block you want. You can see you've got a compost in the center. And you've got one villager, which turns into a farmer, which basically just goes around, collects everything, and he tries to breed and feed this villager. So we've got a little fence gate in the way there. He's going to chuck his little crops, and it's going to fall into the hoppers and then make its way down into the collection, which you can see over there. Now, I would say when you start this, you need to have at least, I would say, 9 stacks for each level. So if, in other words, potatoes have 9 stacks. So you're going to plant your crops in, and then once that's planted, throw the rest of the crops to this guy to fill up his inventory. So he only plants that specific item. As soon as he starts picking up anything else, it's going to fill up inventory. That's like with the wheat. Now if a villager plants wheat, he picks up wheat and he picks up wheat seeds, which will take up his inventory. So in this case, carrots and potatoes is the easiest, but you can do a farm for wheat, which I will get to in a different episode. So let's quickly build one level, and you can see it is stackable, as I said. You can go up like that. So very easy, depending on how much storage you want. So obviously, the more of these layers you're going to use, the more storage you're going to get. And if you AFK by these guys, or have a chunk loader of some sort, then it's going to go pretty quick. So now usually when you start off, most of the items that they've got in the inventory, they're going to start chucking. You can see there's already 8 stacks there. So let's put that on that side. So they pretty much threw out most of the stuff in the inventory. And if you've got bone meal, you can bone meal all these things first. It'll help speed it up. And it's also not difficult to get these guys in. So let's start with a basic little thing here. We're going to do that. Put up some hoppers like that. So you got 3 high is usually where I start off with. And then we're going to have another 3 hoppers after that. So 1, 2, and 3. And we want that over there. So you can see this is where we want that villager to stop. We need the gap there, and then the other villager is going to be standing over there. And this is where you're going to build it up now. Now, to make sure your crops are all got enough water, because you're going to have water at the bottom here to obviously have cropland. So we need to gather up that and that. So let's start. This is block 1. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you go to the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So then you go 4 this way. And then we do another 4 that way. So you're going to get the exact same size on each one of these. Did I just skip this wrong now, or what did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, missed a block. Okay, so do that. That is the center block over there. And we're going to add that and extend that. There we go. Okay, now the best thing to use here is a stair. You put in, waterlog the stair, and stick your composter right on top of that. Now you can put another block here and then put water in and things, but you need to block it up either way because your villager, first of all, is going to try and jump on top of this thing. Now, as I said, you can use any block you want around this, but obviously for a starter farm, you're going to have cobble and dirt, because that's something obviously you're going to be digging up when you start any world. And we're going to add some glass in here, just so we can see better what's going on here. So let's just quickly do that. And as I said, you can put any block in here, you don't have to use glass. It just makes it a little bit easier to work with it. And add some glass in here. Now, to get the villagers in here, you can use rails if you're able to get rails. Otherwise, you can actually use a composter. So if we quickly do that, take that out. You can use composters or bait to lure villagers in. Now, usually you would have your village breeder wherever you want it. Going to stick that down there, or a bed. Okay, so let's put a bed down there and see. Okay, now he's interested in this bed, but it's not dark yet, so you can put a bed down here. There he links to the bed. Now he's going to try and pathfind to get to this bed, but it's not really dark yet, so it might be easier to do this during the night. But we can stick that in there, and he's going to want to go that way. So there you can see, there he goes. Makes his way in there. You can put that down, take out the bed, and he's in there. He can't go anywhere. Okay, and you can do the same with the other villagers now as well. You know, you can add a composter in there, and then add another villager there to link to that one. Now, one level or two levels is fine, but when you start getting bigger, then it does become a little bit of a problem. So you might have a slight issue with that, but rails usually ends up being the easiest way to do it. Then you're going to put the rails into here, break the cart. Obviously after you've closed this up, you can put glass there. So if you've got a rail going up here with a villager in it, you can stop on there. But the only thing is now that you don't have the carpet, and it's usually better with having the carpet. You don't have to have the carpet, but it does make it a little bit easier. So that we'll do separately. So let's grab that. We need a torch. We need that. Actually, it would help if I grab some. Let's just use carrots for this one. Okay, so we're gonna put a villager in there. So let's quickly get rid of this guy here. Sorry, Mr. Villager. You've got enough villagers around. Okay, so now you got your villagers in here. Now, another way of doing it is if you do use rails, you can use... where is it now? Is it an activator rail? I think it was. So, if it stops here and has power, it'll kick a villager off. But then you're going to have to make sure that you, well, basically do this. You're going to have the rail come up here, and as soon as the villager and the rail in the cart reaches here, it's going to kick the villager off and he'll land in there. That's one way of doing it. Okay, and remember, you always got to put a roof onto this as well. So now all we need to do, add some torches in here to make sure we got enough light. We need to, would help if I actually change this to farmland, wouldn't it? Okay, get rid of all of this. Where's the, oh, I need that. No, I don't need that. Okay, so we're going to hoe all the dirt. And you'll see all your dirt needs to change into that farmland, that dark brown color. Then you know you've got the right thing going. Okay, so now we can plant this. And as I said, you can bone meal these to make things go a little bit quicker, or just leave it as is and wait for it to grow normally, depending on how much of a hurry you are to get crops. And obviously you can use carrots for trading. You can even trade with this guy if you want to. So you need to take some of these. So we're gonna quickly grab, oh no, not, don't want steak, I want some carrots. And this guy's pushing me around now. Okay, so now he's got an empty inventory. So we're going to give him a whole bunch of these things to make sure that his inventory has only got basically carrots in it. Now usually it takes like 8 or 9 stacks or something to fill up the inventory. So that's the best way to do it. We can take out that. That guy can't go anywhere. He's not going anywhere. And then all we need to do is close this up. Now one thing that's pretty strange is when you got the carpet in there, you can't place this block here. So one way of doing it to cover this poor guy's head up is actually I need that there, and then do that. User can use a piston to close him up there. So all we're going to do now is just close this up. That side's closed. Do that, and that's it. That's the whole farm. So, and as I mentioned, you can bone meal this if you've got enough bone meal to do it, if you want to speed things up a little bit. And otherwise you just leave it at ease. Now this guy, you can see, he's going to stand there and he's going to try and chuck crops. There we go. There we can see it. There he starts throwing already. And it's going, oops, you can take this out here. There you can see, now it's going to start coming in there. So obviously in the beginning he's going to start chucking everything he has. And that's basically how they start breeding. But you don't want them to breed. That's why you put this fence. A fence works the best. I've tried trapdoors and stairs and different things like whatever. But the fence works the best. It's just high enough so that it blocks it so this guy can't catch it. So his inventory is going to stay empty. Otherwise, as soon as his inventory fills up, then they're going to start breeding, or he doesn't chuck crops to him, and then you're just going to have one big little problem with babies coming out where they shouldn't be. And that's it. It's easy and simple. So if you've got all the materials to build it, you can do this basically within an hour, half an hour. Build this up, and you've got a crop farm. And then, as I said, you can stack it, as you can see. So you build the exact same thing. So you can see there it goes 3, 4, then 4 there, up 3, another 3 that way, and then you can do the same. So technically you would just do that, and then you'll just build this up all the way. So obviously you're going to have to collect a lot of iron to build the hoppers. So you can do a layer at a time. As you get more iron or more resources to build hoppers, then you can just every time add one and add more villages. And that is it. All done. Well, there we go, guys. A quick and simple crop farm powered by villagers. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Cheers.